Okay, so good afternoon. We're dialing in from Eatonville, Washington on August 27th, 4 p.m. Pacific time, and we are joined by a beautiful collection of friends and family. And we're so grateful to have you with us. I'm Kitty, of course. Well, some of you haven't met us. This is my sister,
Kelly. I'm Joan's daughter. Kitty's Joan's daughter. And then this is Paul Good. Everybody should know Paul.
Everybody knows Paul.
They both got my DNA.
You can't know Joan if you don't know Paul. So anyway, we might still have people join us, and we'll weave them in as we go. But let me. Do you want to start?
No, I was just here to see the movie.
Okay. So I'll do a little entree, and if Kelly wants to chime in, and then we, as we all know, lost Mom earlier this spring suddenly. But we had so many years of celebrating good times with her. We had a family memorial Saturday, the 22nd, here at Eatonville in the yard, and the immediate family were able to make it, including Joe and Judy, who must have had the most crazy travel adventure ever, and not in a good way, but they were here and gave us their heartfelt sort of love. And so we recorded, we had somebody make a short video of that. We'll show it in a few minutes, a couple minutes here. It's about 14 minutes long, and I hope it works the way I hope it works, technology. But it's just been an amazing weekend. So I thought after we watched the video, we could hear from some of you folks, those who were here, those who weren't here, the stories you want to share, and we'll be able to probably have enough time. We can go as long as we want. We can stay here and have happy hour if you want. Will you ignore the phone?
We can ignore the phone.
Okay. So is there anything? Well, Kelly, that I'll probably say more after the video, but my head's on organizing right now.
You. I know. It's been a busy day. It's been a busy week. Dad is going to be relocating to Phoenix, so we've been active out here in Eatonville, and we're about ready to say goodbye to Eatonville. But Mom is everywhere around her, and the ceremony was lovely, and we want to share it with you. But there are just so many memories. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of photographs that have about everybody that's here in them in some form or another, in some way or another. So it's been a full life. It's been an exciting life, and it's been one that we've had a hard time letting go because it was so sudden. So we just want to share this memorial with you, and we want you to know that, Mom loved everybody, and she cared about you all. She loved her life. She loved what she did. She was, and you guys were all a big part of that.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Joan spread her net quite widely, and we all benefited from it, I believe.
So why don't we start with the video? It's about 13 minutes, and then we'll pull back everybody afterwards.
And it'll be easiest to hear it if everybody's on mute. Oh, I just thought of a problem.
What? It's called sharing. You share it.
I know, but I'm not on audio on this one. Can you guys give me a moment of tech support? Hold on.
And Paul and Joan were gracious enough to open their house for our reception. And I always remember Joan as someone who was, for me, she was very accepting. Always welcomed me into the family, and I always felt like I was home. She was very special to me in that we would always talk about sports, especially. loved talking about sports with Joan. We would rib each other. We'd talk about the Seahawks. I remember several times that she was over at our house for big football games, and just some of the most raucous times that we would have. It's just always such a blast to sit down and be with her and enjoy her. I also got into flying, and I remember flying up here and landed on this airfield, and Paul and I went out to the little diner out here, and just all moments like that were always very special.
I missed a lot of road trips and a lot of holidays with the good family. And Joan had a love of family. And I'm not sorry for it, but I realized I could have had a richer life for it. One of the things, Joan was so gracious, Paul too, and I always got clothes for Christmas. And you know, I wear Adidas, sandals, socks, shoes. I wear blue jeans. I wear Under Armour shirts. I never got that. Never. I ended up with these weird clothing articles all the time. I think it was about 4 or 5 years. Then Kitty finally said, "Mom, quit doing that." And I started getting gift cards, which was really cool. Because I got Under Armour, Adidas, and stuff that I wanted.
The one thing I remember most is she would bake me cookies. Grandma is not a great cook. But those cookies were amazing. And some of the worst times in my period, I could pick up a cookie because she knew I was probably not at the best. And she would do that for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, she would take that time.
So we grew closer, and throughout the years, she's always been there. As Drace put it exactly perfectly. She never forgot a birthday. She never forgot calling. And unfortunately, and we all have little regrets of wanna, should have done this. I wish I could have been more like her and making the phone calls, because when you reach out for that phone call and you get that phone call, it can touch your life. I have a daughter, Jennifer, and she was born with special needs. And Joan, well, all three of my sisters really went out of their way to make Jennifer feel loved and special, and to help me. Joan never forgot her birthday, as the other sisters, also Judy and Jeannie. But Joan was there for Jennifer. She always asked about Jennifer. And I know that just a sampling here of the huge family that Joan has. I know that Jennifer has another angel. I know we never saw eye to eye on everything, but I learned so much from you. Sometimes kicking and screaming was involved in that, but I did learn. And you made us all better.
I just wanted to share those two things because she was an extremely wonderful older sister. And I tried my best to irritate her as much as I could. But I think Joe came along and even irritated her more. but but we did have an unusual life, and we were raised in an unusual time. And to be in Japan right after the war, to travel like we did, we always had to move, and Joan handled it so well, and I never handled it well at all. And so she was always trying to say, I don't know what's wrong with you, just lighten up, lighten up. And that was her, and she was that. But I sure miss her. She was kind, she would always call, and she was always there.
I met Paul and Joan through radio-controlled model airplanes.
Strangely enough.
My husband was a very enthusiastic model airplane flyer. He was a dentist in Burey, and we lived in Seattle. And we got together and discovered that she and I had children about the same ages, husbands that liked to fly radio-controlled model airplanes. It was a match made in heaven. And we had many, many lovely times doing things together, being friends. And I've never wanted not to be part of the Paul and Joan's life.
I guess I have to mention, Kelly mentioned the last 10 years. It was technically started in 2006, so 14 years. I had to come down from Alaska to Seattle for a work thing. I'm like, hey, I'm going to spend the weekend with my parents. Kelly heard about it. I'm flying up from Phoenix. Well, Mom and Dad were like, well, we're gone that weekend. We're like, what? And they're like, well, yeah, and we're going on an MG road rally. We're going to to the coast. The what was it called? The Run to the Coast? Anyway, with the MG Car Club. And we're like, okay, fine, we'll go. So we ended up with our car, the Green Machine, the Mini Cooper with a magnetic MG sticker on it, and Dick and Linda Shankland, who y'all know are just like another set of parents, just like Ralph and Jean were. I mean, just our other parents. And we rallied to Oregon. And we got there, and it was the 50th anniversary of the night Dad had first soloed, which coincided with the 50th anniversary of when he asked Joan to marry him. Special. It's in his logbook. Well, the flight is.
I only got to know her for 64, 65 years. And the 63 we were married, of course, have been just special, has to be. And you learn a lot. I have to solve some rumors, though. I've said that she spoils me rotten, and she has for the last 63 years. But there's a reason I didn't get to cook. Very early in our marriage, I decided I was going to make cinnamon rolls. And so you can do that with Bisquick. And when I got through, there was Bisquick all over the kitchen. And I was never therefore allowed to cook again. That's why I don't know how to cook. And I helped with the laundry, but I put my khaki fatigues when I was in the Army in the laundry with a red shirt, and they came out pink. Hadn't been allowed to do the laundry since.
That's how you do it. You mess
And
up the first
of course,
time.
Joan now blames me for doing that on purpose. Not true. She was just smarter than I was. In any case, we all hate it that she's gone. And I'm like most of you. My opinion right now is that she is up there organizing that place for the rest of us. That's what she would do. And as far as her being a talker, I got to pass on the one good story about it that I finally wrung out of her 10 or 15 years after we were married. She finally admitted that after we'd met in college, and she went back to Georgia for the summer. And she told me years later that she was talking to her mother her mother, which is your grandmother, and telling her about this guy Paul she'd met, and she really thought he was the one, but he said he's a confirmed bachelor, and she asked her mother, if you can imagine Joan asking for advice. She did ask her mother reputedly, "What should I do?" And her mother replied famously, "Stop talking." And she didn't take her advice. So
So I came across this little quote, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago, maybe around the same time we started doing our road trips. And it always struck me of my mom. And Courtney sent me something this year. It's like, some days you go through some of your life really hoping you don't turn out like your mom, and then you realize one day that would be the luckiest adventure for the rest of your life. And we had the best adventure our entire lives. I'm so blessed with this family. And but this is something that just seems to speak to Joan, and I don't want to try to fumble it around with my own words. So, Joan, mom, sister, friend, grandma, great-grandma, life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in an attractive and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in sideways, chocolate in one hand, red wine in the other, body thoroughly used up, worn out, and screaming, "Woohoo! What a life! What a good life!"
here's to Joan.
Joan, Mom.
Oh, that's wonderful.
With you. So unmute everybody.
Or when you want to talk. Yeah, this is sort of open to everyone who wishes to share a little bit of their stories. And my word, we have stories. I know some of you folks.
Hi, this is Stephanie Hancock, Joan's sister-in-law. And I just wanted to say, I held it together until you spoke, Paul, and then I lost it. You will be missed. You were a great sister-in-law, and you were always so kind to Jennifer, but I'll never forget how excited you were when we had Mitch, because you said, the Hancock name will carry on. And we're now joining I've lost a lot of people, but the one that speaks to me the most is my grandmother, Mary. You met her during our wedding, and my grandmother just said how much she enjoyed talking to you and what a classy looking lady you were with that hat you wore to our wedding. And so I'm hoping you're having some great conversations with her. Thank you.
What happened? Did you guys want to talk?
Yeah, we knew, I don't know how many years now we've known Joan and Paul. I'm guessing around the mid-90s. I don't know what time they moved up to this area. But anyway, so to Dick and Linda Shanklin, and we had wonderful memories about the dinner club that we had. We had once a month. One of us would be five households were hosted. There were 9 of us at the start, and we would take turns hosting a dinner, and then sometimes it would be a theme, like we usually like to do Halloween and Valentine's. But then they had the mystery train that Joan and Paul had, and you just come up in a costume. But it's just fantastic memories and it's just, you know, out of the 9 people, there's 4 of us still around, sadly, and we all knew that, you know, sooner or later we're going to have stuff happen. You know, that's what happens. So, but it was just wonderful memories, and Joan always cooked a fantastic dinner for her.
And we got to stay overnight too.
I was staying overnight, yeah. But it's just, we just got wonderful memories.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
If you want to say anything, just wait. You start talking. Did it work? No.
Well, I will really, really, really miss Joan. She was my very favorite target to tease.
Well, we were getting on you, and now we're not. Before.
And as all of you know, she never had anything to say. And when Paul asked me a question, she would always answer for him. So I always teased her about talking too much and answering for Paul. And Paul was saying, "Joan, let me finish." And Joan, of course, would not let him. But at any rate, I will miss her immensely. And she was one of my very, very favorite sister-in-laws. And I don't have but a couple. But at any rate, I'm overwhelmed. I just missed her so much.
And Clem, we missed you too. We really, we know how hard you tried to get north, and we'll see you in Phoenix soon.
I'm sorry I didn't make it up there for last Saturday, but I tried.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You did, really.
Anybody else who wanted to have anything to say?
This is
I first-
Katie. If you can
Go
hear
ahead.
me. I just wanted to say, I don't know all of you, but I know many of you, that Bob and I have enjoyed knowing the Good family for a very long time. We moved up to Washington State from California about 46 years ago, and the first house that we rented in the Renton area was owned by Doy and Art. And Paul and Joan had lived in that house prior to us. So when we moved up here, we became fastly acquainted with Paul and Joan and the rest of the family. And we've just felt like part of the family, even though we are related via Paul's brother, Jerry. So anyway, thanks for including us, and we will never forget Joan. We've had many, many fun times and with her and the rest of the family. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thanks.
Terrific.
I'm sorry I got on late. I missed the start, and I'm so bummed because I heard such wonderful things from Judy and Joe about the ceremony, and I'm so pleased that I feel like she was really honored well. I love that you did the planes and just all the different things. So beautiful, and I'm sure that she's pleased. I too am sorry that we didn't make it up there. They moved our school up 2 weeks, and so school started on Monday, and we were in a bit of a panic. In fact, Clem will tell you I worked from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday while I was at their house. But just, I love the Good family as well so much. I love each one of you. I ache with you for your loss. Joan was so precious. I know Katie would love to be here too, but she's trying to juggle a bunch of students virtually. But Joan has a special place in her heart as well. So I know she would share that she just really has enjoyed Joan and the fun, the stories, the banter, all of it, and me as well. And I've always felt very loved by her, and enjoyed every time that we were together for holidays, and really enjoyed the hospitality of Paul and Joan when we were up there with our family. You've just always treated us so special, and I know it's a great loss to you, and I just look forward to the day when we'll all be together again. But just any way that our family can serve yours, please let us know, because we are family and want to do that. God bless you.
Thanks, Rhonda. And we can all see the video as many times as we want. I'm going to share.
Jennifer showing something.
You gotta mute your microphone.
You'll show up.
When somebody's speaking and that's green, everybody else is blocked out.
I know.
On
You're
behalf of the
not
MC
muted.
Club, there you go. Say something nice.
Oh,
Hi, Daddy. Hi, Daddy.
In 3 weeks.
Okay. Jennifer, say something nice about Aunt Joan. I'm not McDonald's. I got McDonald's, Aunt Joan. Okay, we're gonna let everyone else talk. No, come on and say hi to Uncle Paul. Hi, Uncle Paul.
Yeah, hi, Jennifer.
There you go.
You're not
You got my text? Yes, he did. He responded. You wished him a happy birthday. And oh, did you? Okay, we're gonna hang up. We're gonna take the video off.
And what?
She got a letter from Santa.
Oh, cool.
Already. Okay. Thank you for letting Jennifer say hello.
Hi, Jennifer.
Did we see Chris and Curtis for a hot minute?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
You know, the thing I remember about Joan was all the adventures that she and Paul would go on. And she was always a ringleader. Every weekend, there's always something, especially in the summertime. They were always going to some place. It was a float flying or with the airplanes or with the MGs. It was pretty cool. She was always at an adventure every weekend. And I thought that was really cool, and she'll really be missed.
I first met Joan up in Oshkosh. Curtis and I started going to Oshkosh together, and he said, "Oh, we gotta see if Paul and Joan Good are over here." So we went, and they were always sitting under the same tree there in the same area with all the vintage airplanes were parked, and it kind of seemed like Joan was kind of running that whole area of airplanes, and she just loved every minute of it with the airplanes. And in Eatonville, she loved to have flybys, and she just absolutely loved it. And she was a lot of fun to be around, and I'm really happy that she was here for the cactus fly-in this spring, because it was a lot better than last spring's cactus fly-in in Casa Grande. But she loved that fly-in, we loved that fly-in, and we just love the Good family. They're just awesome. They're great.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Joan and Paul has been a part of our life for over 50 years. I remember when I came to Arizona in 69, and Jeannie was my secretary. And shortly thereafter, she went back to work for the airlines, and Joan showed up. Because of our age, and I got to know Paul, and we shared a lifetime. Flying, boating, skiing, and the thing, excuse me, I will remember about Joan more than anything else. She was a constant. And I mean that with the greatest sincerity. She was always part of your life. Whether you saw her in a day or a week or a month or a year, she was part of your life. And I will miss her deeply. That's very true.
We had the same experience with Joan when we joined the MG Car Club. She was always the life of the party, and we remember fondly many times with Paul and Joan, whether it be 4th of July parade where we had our cars all stop working in the middle of the parade. Or an MG wine tour where Joan was first up, bellying up at the bar saying, "I want Merlot, I drink Merlot." We will always fondly remember Joan.
Right. Thanks. Thanks, Debbie.
I think.
I have a question. Did we spread the ashes over Mount Rainier yet, or is that going to happen?
That happened right after the ceremony, Jim. If you remember, right after the ceremony, the yellow airplane that took off.
Yes.
It was us going.
Okay. All right.
Is somewhere on Mount Rainier.
Yeah.
And in our
Yes.
hearts, of course.
Another reason to love that mountain.
She loved it in Eatonville. She loved her life. She loved her MGs. She loved going to the fly-ins. She loved playing softball when she was 50. She's just never stopped, and she always had fun. She hiked us down the Grand Canyon and back up again. She was just a force, and she was just, when Joan was in the room, you never didn't know it, and you never forgot it. So, she just stayed with you as soon as she walked in the room, and she had a voice that's louder than ours, believe it or not. We were trying to keep up, but
Yeah.
no.
We had a great childhood growing up, Kelly and I, in Phoenix. Courtney Bontrager's on there. She's my daughter's namesake. So Courtney Breest, who's on the line also, was named for Courtney. My mom started our Girl Scout troop. She started our softball league. She picketed for air conditioning in hot Phoenix schools.
We were on the front lines.
Yes. But nothing stopped Mom. And she's like, what do you mean there's no Girl Scout troop for my girls to join? I will start it.
Oh my God. My memories of Mrs. Good are so heartfelt and they're amazing. But we would be at Kitty's house and Kelly's house all the time, my older sister who's Kelly's age. And that was like my second home. And so was your mother, my second mother. I spent the night over there all the time. I can remember so many things of Girl Scouts and watching your mom put on her makeup in the bathroom. I mean, it's just, I was just, wow. You know, she's just, you know, it was like, and our mothers all together were just huge in our lives because Joan ran a lot of the most PTA and Girl Scouts and our social gatherings for us as we grew older in high school. She worked at the high school when we were in high school, and that was a good thing and not a good thing, but it was straight. And oh my gosh, she's just amazing. And to hear all these stories of her in later life just chugging along, so dynamic, so busy, so just keeping that liveliness in her forever until, you know, God took her. So she was
special. She's very special. And
Real special.
we had so many good times. So
Thanks.
Yeah, many.
we got to see Courtney and Alicia yesterday when we took Mom's Lucy to the beach here at Puget Sound for the very last day.
For those of you that don't know, that is the most gorgeous MGTF you ever saw.
Thank you, Jean Magera.
Wow, that's a beautiful car.
And we drove it to the beach for a picnic with Courtney's mom, Marcia, in honor of Joan, Mom. And Lucy's on her way to Alaska. Yeah.
Wow. Well, nice home.
Was there anybody else who had something they wanted to share today? This is working out better than I honestly thought it would, so I'm just enjoying.
So Katie just popped in, so don't go away yet.
We crashed, so we're back on again. It's Ron and Barb from Summerlin.
And I just wanted to say how much we enjoyed this time we spent with Paul and Joan up in Shuswap there. Dennis and Rose were there as well lots of times. And we really do have fond memories.
Yes. Good days, good days.
Is Jerry Van Guzman on it?
Jerry might not be here, but he's the one that flew with Dad on Saturday to help disperse on Saturday.
That's way cool.
Well, I'm not sure. Oh, can we speak?
Yeah,
Okay. It's Stephanie and Bob Campus. We're actually the babies. We've known Paul and Joan only for 20 years. Through the love of the vintage MGs, we have a 1947 TC. And my personal memories of Joan were getting to one of the first shows, and there was this woman over there, and she is just bustling all around this beautiful black TF. She has this big feather duster. I think they call it a California duster. And she is going after that car and talking with everybody, cleaning the car. And I am like, oh, I guess I should be doing this too. And then the kicker was there was grass in the wheels, tires, because we had driven across grass, and she's plucking out all the little bits of grass with her little fingers and still talking to people and charming people and getting them to vote for her car. I knew what she was doing. But I always love to hear her talk about Lucy and Leaky, two TFs, and how because of Jean's sweet, hi Jean, Jean's sweet little hands, the car always had nuts and bolts that weren't quite on too tight because Jean had put them on, and therefore she called it Lucy. I thought it was just a charming story.
Leaky.
No,
was one of them,
Leaky
too.
was Bill Olson's TF because it leaked all the time. But Joan just was a force. She took the room. You knew she was there. She led, she guided. And we're still wrestling with not
Being able to see her.
being able to see her again.
I would just like to say that Joan was one of the happiest
Without a
people
doubt.
that I have ever met in my life, and will never forget her.
Mhm.
I really appreciate that. She
Just our privilege to just
But you're right about the talking.
Well, she did have her reputation.
We loved her. We
Yeah.
loved her.
She could drown out anybody.
So
Kelly.
right now I'm doing school, and there's this guy named Liam, and he's so adventurous, and everybody's talking, and that makes me think of her. Oh. But yes, I'm also doing school during this.
Oh, multi-talented.
Oh, that's my granddaughter,
That's Dixie.
Dixie.
I'll just say a little something. I was too shy to say anything at the ceremony on Saturday. This is Courtney. Joan was my grandma. Oh, geez, how do you do this? Anyways, I'll be brief, but she was the best grandmother in all the right ways. And getting to hear from you guys and hear about her as a friend and how adventurous she was really inspiring. And I miss her, obviously. And I really wish, I'm going to try to channel her right now because I am busy cooking my husband his birthday dinner, and I'm attempting to do a roast duck for the first time ever. And I can only imagine if she were in this situation, it would be hilarious. I wish that I had her to ping. And so it's been nice thinking about her while I do this. And thank you.
Thanks, Courtney.
Thanks, sweetie.
Is that our phone?
So we're glad that you came on. There is a video. You get to see it whenever you want to.
And all of the sharing we've done today to remember this awesome woman is also part of what we'll share.
Yep.
I was able to capture it. I think the technology worked, but I just think it's special that so many of us. I loved what someone said. She's such a constant, and she was such a constant in all of our lives, and that sort of deep reservoir of unquestionable, unconditional love, and fun. That was Al. That was probably. So let me just do a last call. If somebody hasn't yet ready to say something, then I'm going to go ahead and.
Looks like we're good.
Now, also though, we've gotten to know all of you. Dad knows all of you. There's going to be a new address in Phoenix, but we will be back in the Eatonville area. We will be in the Phoenix area, and this is to continue Joan's legacy. We are here to announce that we're going to continue to have fun. We have MGs in the north and the west now. We're going to join car clubs. Tiffany
and Scott have the Vagabond. Well, they will tomorrow.
They will tomorrow. That's the last thing to leave. Is the Vagabond.
Yeah.
But also for everyone, you know, your family, but you're also dear friends. I don't see any of the Mariner fans here, you know, but Dad is here, and he said he's not giving up his shirts.
That's right.
So we want to continue. Mom was the glue, and she kind of brought everybody together, and she was Dad's social secretary. He has two now, so we will be able to continue the memories and continue, and Mom will always be part of it, and she will be with us because she's just one of those people that you just can't get away from, not even in death.
That's true.
So
and if you get a little, if you feel like you're missing her, just hang out with one of these two.
Yeah. So yeah, we resemble that lady a lot.
Yeah, I
in
resemble
so
both
many
her
ways.
looks.
So many ways.
The very best ways.
Yep.
So well, anyway, love you all. Missed so many of you, and we'll, like Kelly said, stay connected. And thank you for being part of this special afternoon and this amazing life of Joan Good. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you now.
Love you guys.
Thank you. We love you.
All right. Love you.
Bye-bye. We love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye. We love
Love
you
you
guys.
too. Hope to see you all in Phoenix at some point.
We'll be very shortly. We'll be in Phoenix.
Yes.
All right. Take care.
Bye.